You are by the bring society into jungles. The national anthem. Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Awka State Council of North PhD. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Awka State, Senator Dr. Awka, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, leadership and members of the Awka State House of Assembly, distinguished senators and members of the House of Representatives, the DG of Campaign, His Excellency Ambassador Sam SAN, Chairman of our great party, the TVC, and ESCO, Chairman IPAC, and members of our great party, TVC. The SSG Era 2 Service of Awka State, Executive Assistant to the Director Advisor, Honorable Commissioners, Special Advisors, Delivery Advisors, SSG Governor, leader and member of Congress of former legislators, especially former Honorable Speaker, that are here today, wife of the former Governor of Awka State, service commanders, serving and retired, captain of industries, professional bodies, chairman of boards and commissions, permanent secretaries, the Club of the House, chairman of Awka State, other chairmen, Vice Chairman of local government areas, senior citizens, elders, critical stakeholders, members of the clergy, academia, labor leaders, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. We have in the House Chambers His Excellency Pastor Omar Basi, PhD, the Governor of Awka, Ibom State, and members of the Executive Council in our midst. It is with great honor and this sense of responsibility that I, on behalf of the Awka Assembly, the 8th Assembly, warmly welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Awka, Ibom State, to our dear state, to these House Chambers, for the formal presentation of the 2026 Estimates and Appropriation Bill. The presentation of the budget symbolizes not only physical planning, but also the collective aspiration of our people for growth, development, and improved living standards. While thanking you for coming, Your Excellency, may I respectfully invite you, Your Excellency, to address this House and lay the 2026 budget proposal for consideration in accordance with Section 121 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic as amended. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, ARE, PhD, the Honorable Speaker of the Awka Ibom State Assembly, Right Honorable Udeme Otong, the Deputy Speaker, leadership, and members of the Awka Ibom State House of Assembly, members of the National Assembly,
the Secretary to the State Government, the Executive Delivery Officer, the Head of the Civil Service, members of the State Executive Council, led by the Dean of Commissioners. Let me particularly acknowledge the presence of the Commissioner for Finance and the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning. The Chairman of Algon, representing all other chairmen that are here with us. The DG of our campaign, His Excellency Ambassador Sam Assam. You can see in the gallery the chairman of our party, the All Progressive Congress Awka Ibom State, His Excellency Chief Don Echebet is here, the wife of our former governor. Please permit me to rely on the protocol that have already been established by Mr. Speaker, but let me also acknowledge former speakers that are here seated in the array. I have a long reading to do today. Please permit me to proceed to present to the Awka Ibom State House of Assembly the budget proposals for consideration, budget 2026 budget proposals for consideration by the House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members of this esteemed House and other invited guests, today I come before you as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended demands to present to you the estimates of expenditures for the year 2026, which we have aptly titled the People's Budget of Expansion and Growth. Before I proceed to present the budget, allow me to give thanks to the Almighty God for the grace, guidance, and invisible hands that has so generously been extended to us by God. The protective covering and guidance so deeply blessed us in the last 1 year since I last stood here before you. To Him alone be all the honor, all of the glory, all of the adoration in Jesus' mighty name. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, a lot has happened in the course of the last 1 year. When I came before you last year, we were members of another political party. Today, because we made the decision based on enlightened state interest and on the accurate reading of the signs of the time as the children of Issachar did, and the need to massively and wholesomely support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to continue in office with his bold and audacious reform policies beyond 2027. We progressively moved and are now proud members of the All Progressive Congress, the APC. The homecoming event we had across all the 369 wards and 31 local governments last weekend was a testimony of the followership that God has given to us and Akwa Ibomite movement. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, in the past 2 years plus, we have made tremendous strides across all 5 pillars of our governance blueprint, the Arise agenda, and the 17 focal areas. Let me at this point thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for that bold act he took on the first day in office by removing the petroleum subsidy, which today has made it possible for states to have more funds and resources to execute both recurrent and capital projects. The difficulties associated with the removal of the subsidy is gradually abating, and the dividends are rolling in. Today, from agriculture to rural development, from infrastructure to security and educational advancement, tourism and healthcare, promotion of SMEs to sports, housing, transport, among other key sectors, we are undertaking bold and audacious projects without borrowing and have earmarked resources to complete all the projects that we have so far initiated. We thank the President again and assure him that to whom much is given, much is expected, as we will continue to deliver big and stand ready to support him come 2027 as a state. Our agricultural revolution is on course as work is ongoing at the Ibom model farm in Surubium. All across our state, our people have imbibed the spirit of returning to the farm to plant our staple food. The Ministry of Agriculture has been distributing farm inputs, implements, fertilizers, and tractors to help our farmers increase food output. We will redouble our efforts in this critical sector next year. As we speak, 69,000 107 farmers have benefited from our agricultural revolution. 13,060 registered farmers have benefited from agri-processing machines and equipment that we have purchased for our farmers. The palm tree crop revolution, which we plan to launch soon, will create a generational wealth for our people, especially those in the rural areas. Palm oil was our black gold. The community that had empowered our people helped send some of our best and brightest sons and daughters to study abroad long before crude oil and gas were discovered. Through this revolution, government will actively get involved in palm tree planting and will eventually uptake them from our farmers to complete our food value chain. To make this project take off smoothly, I recently directed Awka to be moved from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Office of the Secretary to the State Government, and a massive renovation exercise is ongoing in the facility. I intend to visit the Awka office after this presentation today. We have bought tractors to aid our farmers in their plowing and harvesting. These tractors will be commissioned in December this year. We remain intentional in ensuring that there are ongoing projects in all the 31 local government areas of our state, from model primary schools to model health centers, 78 new feeder roads, 30 wet markets, water projects, and solar electricity, all in line with our desire to stem rural-urban migration and ensure a good quality of life for our rural dwellers. We are currently constructing over 900 kilometers of roads across the state. Some have already been commissioned while others are ongoing. I made a promise during my campaign that we will not abandon any viable uncompleted projects from previous administration, and so far we have kept our promises. There is no senatorial district in this state that we have not touched, either with a new road project or those whom we have deployed our finisher's anointing to complete and commission. Awka Ibom State, I must re-emphasize, has possibly the best road network of all the subnationals in the nation, and we stand ready to do more in this critical area. Beginning 1st of December, we will commence fixing of all potholes within the capital city of our state. Government has made provision for one project each in the 31 local government areas, taken specifically from the needs document earlier submitted by the 10 federal constituencies of our state during our town hall meetings. The outcome of this budget is based on citizens' input, as witnessed by the documents submitted to government during the statewide town square meetings or needs assessment. In other words, this budget is a citizen's budget. We are working very hard to continue to keep our state safe and secure. Let me, at this point, pause to thank our partners, the state security agencies, who have partnered with us in ensuring that security is maintained in our state. Let me pay glowing tribute to our service commanders, both past and present, for the robust collaboration we have enjoyed in the last 2.5 years. We will not achieve this nationally known feat without your support. We thank you and we celebrate you. We'll continue to partner with you in the onerous task of keeping security and maintaining security in our state. Thank you so much. We recently launched our Security Trust Fund, and we also thank all those who have contributed. We assure you that our state will continue to remain the oasis of peace and tranquility. Peace is the catalyst for development, and will continue to pursue and deepen this important element of our social contract. I call on our leaders not to unnecessarily inflame their passion as the political season unfolds. Politics must and should not divide us. Even if you don't agree with us, I join us all to play politics with decorum, with decency, without name calling or the push to pit brothers and sisters against one another. Akwa Ibom says no to divisive politics. It is now gone and will forever not be remembered. Politics is dynamic, we must remember. The brother or sister you wish to destroy today may be your savior and ally tomorrow. Let us discuss issues and leave personalities out of politics. That is not a way to play opposition. We continue to see education as the way out of poverty. We are not just providing education for our children, education to a full-time university. I am aware that the process is going on and engagement is going on with the Nigerian University Commission. We recently declared an emergency in the healthcare sector and have directed that 1,300 retired healthcare professionals who are still strong to be re-engaged. I have also directed the employment of additional 2,000 healthcare professionals to help beef our workforce in this critical sector. We are upgrading and equipping contracts for the building of an international hospital with such departments as oncology to detect early cancer symptoms and other diseases. We have directed and working very hard to award a contract along the medical corridor for stand-alone, purpose-built international diagnostic center. This before we open the new international building. We are working closely with aviation stakeholders and regulatory agencies to commence operations at the international terminal as well as our MRO, maintenance, repair, national and international sporting events. Earlier this year, we held sporting events. Earlier this year, we held a state sports festival after a very low state. Sports festival after a very low state in all the state, in all the 369 wards. We have built, equipped, and 69 wards. We have built, equipped, and added over 335 homes. To this month, I released an additional 1.3 billion to further reduce the backlog. You will agree with me that this is indeed a great achievement. By next year, we'll continue to reduce the backlog until everything is cleared. We have placed heavy premium in human capacity development and the promotion of SMEs. Over 3,000 of our youths have been trained and given startup grants through the Entrepreneurial Accelerated Program, EAP, that is run by Ibom Leadership Entrepreneurial Development Center, Ibom led. We have also supported the Dakada Skills Acquisition Center to commence operation and have graduated the first set of trainees. We have a 2 billion matching fund with the Bank of Industry to enable our people to borrow at single-digit interest rates. This fund is available to be drawn by farmers and traders. We are doing all we can to ensure that we promote SMEs as the engine of economic growth and an easy path to the middle class. In the 2026 budget, we have made provision for 31 billion naira to support SME programs across all the local government areas of our state. Tourism is a critical area that we are priming our state for a life beyond oil. We are building the 5,000 capacity international conference center that will be one of the best in this country. The 200-room Ibom hotels at the Tropicana site, the Arise Shopping City, all located within the Tropicana grounds. We are renovating the Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort to bring it up to speed with modern features. We are reclaiming moribund assets in the state, both in Lagos and Abuja, and we intend to turn them into assets that will be of value to the state. Currently, we are wrapping up construction in the Arise Palm Resort, one of the most audacious tourism projects that any state government would undertake. Work is currently ongoing at the Ibom Towers and Apartments in Lagos. We are waiting approvals of our designs with the Federal Capital Territory Authority to proceed to award the contract for the construction of Ibom hotels in Abuja. We are priming and preparing our state for sustainable growth through different streams of income by utilizing our previous moribund assets. We are determined to ensure that all of these assets bring profit as they are now being managed directly by the Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation through consultants, and we monitor daily as we go into the Treasury single account from January 2026. Recently held our past summit and came up with action plans for the sector. By next year, you will begin to see the effect of this in that all-important sector. We are currently working with our team to ensure that we create all of the agencies that will help drive power for all in Akwa Ibom. In the transportation sector, our CNG-enabled buses are on course. This morning, directors from Isuzu in Turkey paid me a visit just to follow up on the 50 buses we have ordered from Isuzu and fully paid for through the Central Bank of Nigeria. we are building a bus terminal station in Uyo and will replicate stations across all the 31 local government areas of our state. This will help our buses and our transport sector. We hope and believe that this will become functional by next year. We continue to work hard to put the building blocks for the realization of our Ibom deep sea port. We're working with the federal government. Documentation is ongoing, and we will, at the appropriate time, brief Akwa Ibomite of all of the steps. Permit me not to bore you with details, and also because we do not intend to have our opposition work against all that we are doing. Because opposition most times believes that until they stall projects, they have not been able to do anything. So we'll only keep doing what we are doing and come out with solutions as the Nigerian Navy submarine will do. And when we come out with solutions, all eyes will see. We hope to complete work on the Oran Maritime Infrastructure Project by next year to help improve our blue economy. And of course, the passenger ferries, which will make it easier for our people to travel to and from Oran to Calabar in Cross River State. We have gone at an advanced stage, and those of you who have been following will see that we are getting Oran back to the days of their former glory, where it was a beehive of activity. There is no senatorial district we have not done something tangible beyond building of roads. December, by the grace of God, will be flagging off the international market in Ikorekpene. We are working for our people because that's what they sent us here to do. Mr. Speaker, in about 2.5 years, we have done a lot across sectors, but we still remain dedicated to expanding on these achievements with the budget we are presenting before the House this afternoon. The policy thrust and objectives of the 2026 budget. The policy thrust of the 2026 budget, which is titled the People's Budget of Expansion and Growth, will be anchored on the Arise agenda of the present administration. This includes A, to strengthen food security and food sufficiency by expanding mechanized agriculture, smallholder and producers, and promote value chains. Income earning potentials of rural households will be enhanced through home farm schemes, provision of access to farm inputs, credits and extension services, as well as agro-processing support. Improve living conditions in rural areas. Government will electrify rural communities, upgrade and construct rural roads, renovate primary healthcare facilities, and build modern markets, schools, recreation facilities to improve quality of living in the rural areas. Complete ongoing flagship infrastructure projects, including roads, bridges, aviation, health facilities, and begin new ones critical to connectivity, trade, investment, and job creation. Strengthen internal security architecture, including community-based initiatives, digital surveillance, and waterways protection to ensure peace and protect lives and property. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. See, we reduce the tension now. Improve the quality, accessibility, and relevance of education at all levels through equipping of schools, training and retraining of the dedicated teachers, expanding ICT capabilities, and facilitating inclusive access of vulnerable groups. My charge to the brand new tier-over head of the civil service is to rekindle training and retraining of our civil service. And we've made a very robust provision in the 2026 budget to ensure that we have an upwardly mobile trained civil service. Promote economic diversification and support medium, small enterprises. Government will continue to create jobs for citizens and enlarge that part of economic prosperity and expanding opportunities for growth in business, leisure, and tourism, as well as continue to attract foreign investment by creating a business-friendly environment. We will invest in human capital development and social inclusion. Targeted programs will be developed for vulnerable groups, including women and children and persons with disabilities, to promote social equity. The states will invest in youth development. The state will continue to invest in youth development initiatives, such as youth development centers across the 31 local government areas, to enhance the potential of the young population for economic growth. We need to continue to engage our youth so that they continue to have a reorientation, change of attitude, change of mind.
Streamline the tax system to reduce redundancies, improve compliance, and enhance business confidence, as well as continue to leverage on technology to track high-income earners and formalize the informal sector to ensure fair taxation without stifling business growth. Invest in renewable energy projects and waste-to-wealth initiative to reduce greenhouse gas emission, create green jobs, and promote environmental sustainability. Promote accountability, transparency, fiscal discipline, and value for money. Adhere to the state fiscal responsibility and procurement laws. Minimize wastages, leakages, and corruption, and publish regular, accessible reports to stakeholders. Enhancement of transportation system in the state through provision of compressed natural gas CNG buses and construction of marine aluminum passenger ferry boats. Promote tourism investment to transform the state's economy from crude oil dependent into a diversified and vibrant service economy. Invest strategically in tourism to diversify the state's economy, create employment opportunities, and boost internally generated revenue. Completion of Ibom Medical City and the rehabilitation of secondary and primary health facilities in the state. Efforts will be made to continue to recruit, train, and retrain medical personnel, expand our insurance coverage, and integrate public-private partnership projects. Review of the performance of 2025 budget. Mr. Speaker, a total of 955 billion was approved
for the 2025 fiscal year. This was, however, revised to 1,650 billion, with a total recurrent expenditure of 425,666 billion naira, and the capital provision of 1,224 billion naira. The breakdown is as follows: recurrent expenditure 425,664 billion, capital expenditure 1,224 billion, totaling a budget of 1,650 billion for 2025. As of September 2025, the total recurrent revenue collected by the state was 897 billion 144 million naira, representing 108% of the approved provision for the period January to September. The sum of 3.883 billion was realized from other capital receipts, excluding recurrent surplus. This represents 15.5% of the approved provision for the period. Also, the sum of 231 billion 228 million was spent on recurrent services within the period under review. This represents 77.1% of the approved provision. A total of 598 billion 981 million was spent on capital programs within the same period, which represents 91.4% of the approved provision. The total expenditure within the period January to September 2025 was 830 billion 210 million naira. This represents 86.9% of the approved provision. Our total budget expenditure is described in detail in the budget implementation report, which has been prepared to facilitate your consideration of the draft 2026 budget. And the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning and Commissioner for Finance had made this available to the press when they presented the 2026 budget expenditure summaries. The 2026 budget size. Government has proposed a total budgetary outlay of 1,390 billion naira only for the 2026 financial year, as against the approved revised provision of 1,650 billion naira only for 2025, representing a decrease of 16% from the 2025 revised budget. The total outlay of 1,390 billion naira is made up of 354 billion 867 million naira for recurrent expenditure, or 25% of the budget, and 1,035 million naira for capital expenditure, representing 75% of the total budget. The allocation of 75% of the total budget to capital expenditure is intentionally meant to accelerate and stimulate economic activities in the state in the 2026 financial year. The capital estimate consists of 387 billion naira for roads and other infrastructure, 31 billion for education, 136 billion for health, amongst others. State government revenue estimates. A total projected revenue, recurrent revenue for 2026 is estimated at 1,146 million naira, as against the revised provision of 1,255 billion naira, representing a 9% decrease in revenue projection for 2026. Revenue recurrent expenditure. For the 2026 fiscal year, recurrent expenditure, which is proposed at 354,866 million naira, is made up of personnel cost 131,152 million naira, overhead cost 223,715 million naira. Total recurrent expenditure 354,867 million naira. The total capital receipts and expenditure for the year 2026 is estimated at 1,035 billion naira, as against the approved revised provision of 1,224 billion naira for 2025. A total capital receipt shows that 791 billion 978 million will be transferred from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, while the balance of 243 billion 155 million naira is to be realized from other capital projects. The Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning and his finance counterpart will, as usual, provide details on the sectoral allocation, so I don't bore this house with that at this time. Let us reiterate that the 2026 People's Budget for Growth and Expansion reflects the request made by the stakeholders of each of the 31 local government areas during our town square meetings. The list of projects that have been captured in each of the local government areas will be made available during the briefing. The funds allocated to each of these 31 projects will also be disclosed by the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Commissioner for Finance during the planned media briefing. In conclusion, let me again thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the honorable members of this House for your kind attention. I urge you to please speedily consider this budget so we may continue to work for our people and galvanize them to arise and be all that God has desired for us to be. Our governance compass, the Arise agenda, is on a steady course. The achievements we have recorded in the past 2.5 years are inspiring. As we speak, we have over 50 projects ongoing in various local governments in our state, and these are not roads, and we intend to pursue them aggressively to a logical conclusion. I urge us to continue to stay together in peace and in harmony so our people can thrive in this great land of promise. Let us not allow the divisive tendencies to separate us. Let us not encourage disharmony and the breakdown of law and order, because it will impede growth and none of us will know how it will end. But as a government, let me assure this House, and indeed Akwa Ibomites, that we will do everything in our power under the law to ensure that we do not allow insecurity to take root in our state, working with renewed commitment with our security agencies and all Akwa Ibomites, including the Neighborhood Watch, which we will expand in 2026. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your rapt attention, and I pray that God bless Akwa Ibom State and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Mo Basi Eno, PhD. The Deputy Governor, our supporting Deputy Governor, distinguished Senator Dr. Akoneyayi, all members of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge, and members of the Judiciary, members of the State Executive Council, distinguished stakeholders, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, I am honored to welcome you to these hallowed chambers for the presentation of 2026 Appropriation Bill. This annual constitutional engagement remains a cornerstone of democratic governance, an expression of our shared commitment to transparency, accountability, and service to the good people of Akwa Ibom State. Today's presentation is especially significant as it aligns squarely with your administration commitment to fully actualize the ARISE agenda, with emphasis on agricultural expansion, rural development, infrastructural consolidation, security enhancement, and economic diversification. Your Excellency, permit me to commend the visionary leadership you have consistently demonstrated since assumption of office on May 2023. Under your watch, the ARISE agenda has moved beyond policy statements to tangible impact touching communities, empowering households, and strengthening the pillars of our state economy. Your Excellency, we are all witnesses to the major transformation across the health sector, numerous road projects, the construction of compassionate homes, the construction of model primary schools, and the implementation of several other projects that have brought succor and renewed hope to our people. It is evidence that virtually every sector you have highlighted during the campaign is today seeing remarkable progress. Your deliberate efforts in revitalizing tourist sites, supporting SMEs, and promoting community-based enterprises reflect a strategic shift towards strengthening the state economic drivers. These initiatives not only create employment opportunities but also meaningfully reduce dependence on government, setting the stage for inclusive growth and long-term prosperity in the state. One of the most commendable hallmarks of your leadership is your commitment to taking government closer to the grassroots, a governance model that has become widely appreciated by our people. Your Excellency, that we did last Saturday. As we receive and examine the 2026 budget, the House is particularly interested in how this fiscal plan will reinforce the priority areas of the Arise agenda. The legislature expects improved support for education, healthcare, tourism, creative industries, and other key sectors capable of reducing our reliance on federal allocation. We are confident that the 2026 budget will further enhance private sector participation and improve the ease of doing businesses in Akwa Ibom State. The House of Assembly, your House, remain committed to ensuring that every resources allocated to infrastructure, social services, and youth development translates into measurable impacts. Your Excellency, you have remained a true friend of the legislature. We sincerely appreciate your fulfillment of promises made during your maiden assessment visit to the House of Assembly complex. The first non-budget presentation visit by any governor in recent times. We are grateful for your approval and release of funds for the ongoing renovation of the Assembly complex, as it is witnessed today. Your approval to relocate the entire honorable members and staff of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly and Assembly Service Commission to a temporary office space for the period of 1 year is deeply acknowledged. We assure you of our continued support and partnership. When I assumed office as a speaker over 2 years ago, I pledged to lead an assembly that would make legislative contribution that positively impacts the life of Akwa Ibom people. Working as a united team, we have kept our word by enacting laws and resolutions designed to derive socio-economic growth and give legal backing to your administration programs. Our standing committees have diligently executed their oversight responsibilities to ensure that appropriated funds are judiciously utilized. As the 2026 budget is laid before us today, we will, as always, examine it critically to ensure that it aligns with your Excellency's vision for our state. Through effective oversight, we will ensure that the budget delivers on its promises to stimulate and grow the economy of Akwa Ibom State. In this regard, Your Excellency, I urge all ministries, departments, and agencies to cooperate fully with the committees of the House by providing all required documents and information to facilitate the speedy passage of the budget. May I remind us that our oversight mandate is constitutional, anchored on Section 128 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Your Excellency, be assured that the House will scrutinize the budget with diligence, patriotism, and fairness, with a view to ensuring that it aligns with the state long-term development blueprint. Our aim is not merely to approve figures, but to ensure efficient allocation of resources, elimination of waste and duplications, strengthening of physical discipline, prioritizing of projects that directly uplift the lives of our citizens. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the development of Akwa Ibom State is collective responsibility. With the ARISE agenda as our guiding framework and with continued collaboration between the executive and the legislature, I am confident that our state is on the path to unprecedented growth and prosperity. Thank you, Your Excellency, and God bless Akwa Ibom. Let me call on the leader of the House to move a vote of thanks. The leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Otobo Bob, PhD, speaking for the good people of Ibom State constituency, including our executive stranger for today, Pastor Omar Basieno, Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure that I rise today to move a vote of thanks on behalf of this APC-led 8th House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, today marks a historic day in the history of Akwa Ibom State, not just economically but politically. Today is the first day an APC governor will be presenting a budget to an APC-led House of Assembly. And Your Excellency, that is with credit to your vision and your ability to see ahead and save Akwa Ibom State and the House of Assembly from destruction. So we thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we've listened with rapt attention to your presentation for today. And I dare say that your presentation was fantastic. And if I had the opportunity and the permission of my colleagues during the second reading for this particular bill, I'll probably just adopt your speech today as my address to convince them to pass this budget very speedily. Because you have clearly spelled out what this budget intends to do for the good people of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, the budget as estimates are presented to us today is a total sum of 1.390 trillion. And it is the first of its kind, because this is the first time in the history of the Assembly that we'll see that a next year budget is 16% lower than the budget of the previous year. Your Excellency, we commend you. Your Excellency, you've shown and you've always said that your priority for the Akwa Ibom State people and the budgeting technique that you're adopting is one that will always ensure that there is a high budget performance at the end of the year. Your Excellency, just at the third quarter, we have already achieved over 80% budget performance of the 2025 budget. So, Your Excellency, we as an Assembly score you very highly. And the people of Akwa Ibom State score you very highly. And very recently, I read a publication by one of the very respected civil society organizations, Budgets, that rates Akwa Ibom State very highly in terms of budget presentation. It is due to your leadership and the way you're leading Akwa Ibom State. So, Your Excellency, we thank you. Your Excellency, let me just highlight a few things from your presentation today. Once again, the total budget size for all of those listening is 1.390. The capital expenditure, which is to cover roads, infrastructure, education, and health, is about 1.035 trillion, which represents 75% of the budget, while recurrent expenditure is about 354.8 billion, which represents 25% of the total budget. Once again, Your Excellency, it shows that you're interested in developing Akwa Ibom State and pushing Akwa Ibom State to always be number one in the Committee of State in terms of infrastructure. That is why our capital expenditure, as proposed by you today, is 75% compared to the 25% in the recurrent expenditure. Excellency, as an assembly, we cannot thank you enough, because I believe by the next time you're coming here to present a budget, this will not be the assembly you're going to come and present a budget to. You graciously approved the renovation of this complex, and I believe today might be one of our last sittings in this particular chambers as an assembly, as the Speaker has rightly acknowledged that you've approved the temporary relocation of the assembly to a temporary place for the next 1 year to ensure that a proper job is done here to make this environment conducive for not just members, but for staff in the discharge of our constitutional duties. Mr. Speaker and Your Excellency, not to bore you with a long speech today, because we will still go on to do our second reading of this particular bill, but the Speaker has made a very clear point, and I want to reiterate, and this goes to you, the commissioners and the heads of MDAs. You've listened to the governor today, who has appealed to this House for the speedy passage of this particular bill. That can only be done with your cooperation. So when you get letters from the various committees, standing committees of this House, please don't run. There's nothing to be afraid of. Come and appear before your committee chairman, and we will do our best to ensure that this particular budget will be passed in record time for the benefit of Akwa Ibom people and for the benefits of Akwa Ibom State. So, Your Excellency, we thank you. We thank our Deputy Governor. We thank everybody that has joined you, your entourage, all our senior members in the legislature, members of Congress, members of the press, the security, architecture in the state, great sons and daughters of Akwa Ibom State. We thank you for honoring us. Our great chairman of the APC, I believe this is your first time in the assembly as a chairman representing the Akwa Ibom State government and not an opposition chairman, so you're welcome. Please take a bow. We welcome all our stakeholders to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. This is the job we do here, to deliberate and to make laws for the betterment of Akwa Ibom State, and we promise today in front of our governor and in front of Akwa Ibom people that we'll continue to discharge these responsibilities in line with the 1999 constitutions and to the best of our abilities. On that note, Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, we say a big thank you, and we look forward to welcoming you again up until the year 2031, because a winning captain doesn't change a winning team. Your Excellency, this is your winning team. We've been supporting you and will support you as an assembly and members of the assembly from now to 2031 in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, let me thank you for being with us, and let me call on the House Leader to move a motion to withdraw our stranger, the Governor, and other strangers from the floor of the House so that we can continue our deliberation. The Leader of the House.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Otto Bombo, speaking for the good people of Ibom State constituency, including the executive stranger we are about to discharge from our hallowed chambers today, and all other strangers that are here. Mr. Speaker, with your leave and relying on the relevant section of our standing orders, Order 12, Rule 3, I hereby move that the sanctity of the House be restored and our strangers be please excused from our chambers for us to go on with the business of the day. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The Deputy Leader to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Leadership, ranking members, very respected.
Please be seated. We are not done. Be seated where you are, please.
I am Honorable Nsidaba Kata, PhD, member speaking for the people of Awka State Constituency, grandson of the Executive Governor of our state, and by the special grace of God, through His benevolence, the Deputy Leader of this 8th Awka Ibom State House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second that motion as succinctly moved by the Leader of this House. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable members, a motion has been moved and duly seconded that the House to withdraw the stranger who is the Executive Governor and his entourage and for the House to be reconstituted. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the Sergeant of Arms, after the Governor is escorted by the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip, the House Leader, the Deputy Whip, will restore the sanctity of the House. The National Anthem. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
Breaking news is not just about the headlines. It is the ripple effects of the headlines. It is the ability to connect the dots of anger, grief, pain, repression, hope, and triumph. It is staying on the story till attention is gotten and action is taken. When we say at TVC News we are first with breaking news, it is not just a position. It is a philosophy, a principle, and a culture.